Hi guys, so it's Tasha from DNA Royals again. We wanted to do a little bit of a video on the history of the paint gene. Well, not so much the history of the gene itself, but the history on how we came to get the gene and how we've started working with it and stuff like that, really. So as you can see, this little male that we've got sat here, he's not going to sit still. None of mine tend to sit still. Let's see if we can get him to sit still a little bit. So this guy here was the original male that we bought. Now, when we bought him, he was originally sold to us as a paint yellow belly. And when we got him, obviously we knew nothing about the paint gene whatsoever. So we were really quite excited to get into this project and start learning about it and, you know, get working with it really and starting to produce different combos and that. So we got this guy. He was tiny when we got him, and obviously as you can see he's huge now. But we bought him from a breeder in Germany. Like I said, we got him as a paint yellow belly. We paid him back in 2014 to Satin, our funky normal girl, which we will show you and we will discuss about her later. So we paid him to Satin to see what we would sort of produce out of there, and in fact to see whether he had yellow belly in him, because Satin is just a normal at the moment anyway. So out of that clutch we had 4 eggs. Now in the clutch there was, if I remember rightly, there was 2 that actually turned out to be faints, not paints. Now a faint is a fire paint. And there was 2 single gene paints. No, tell a lie. No, there was 5 eggs in the clutch. Sorry, my apologies. 5 eggs in the clutch, because there was 2, there turned out to be 2 faints, 2 paints and 1 normal. Now when these babies popped out, we looked at them and we thought, oh, hang on a minute, they don't look like they've got yellow belly in them. So we went back to the breeder and we spoke to the breeder about it, and she went back and had a look at her records, and she was like, oh, sorry. She said, actually, he is a paint fire. He's not a paint yellow belly, he's a paint fire. So we sat there and we thought to ourselves, okay, well, that's fine, that's not a problem. And out of the clutch popped out our really funky looking faint girl. Sorry, excuse me. Which we were all a bit like, what is she? When she first hatched. Again, we spoke to the breeder of this guy, and she confirmed actually that is a faint, but she's really funky and she's got like a lot of this reduced pattern in. Whether that's descended from him or whether it's descended from her mother, I don't know, but we will go and get the faint female out now and show you her, and then we'll talk a little bit about Satin. Okay, so this girl here we hatched out back in 2014. So this was the funky looking faint female that we hatched out. This girl is up on World of Ball Pythons. If you search fire paint, and then it should come up aka faint on there. Now, when she was hatched, she was the smallest out of the clutch, and she was also very orange in colour. Now, the light's not very good today, so you can't really make out her colours very well on camera. However, she's now more of like a golden colour. She's got some funky markings on her, and I'm not sure if she's going to let me show you. But if you look at the front of her face, she's got these yellow dots above, well, on the side of each nostril. But she's not going to let me show you. There we go. Sorry, sweetheart. Now, she, again, like I said, is quite crazy patterned. If we just hold her up and you can have a look. So she is quite crazy patterned. Again, we don't know whether that's come from her mum or whether that's come from her dad. We're not entirely sure. Now this little girl, although she was 2014 hatched, she still is quite small. She went through a stage where she just would not eat anything at all. So we got a little bit concerned about that, and unfortunately she did turn out to be a live feeder, so she did live feed for 2 years. We have now managed to get her back onto defrosted animals. which again obviously is much better for us, is much better for her. You know, we haven't got to run the risk of her being munched on by a rat, which she wouldn't have been anyway because it was supervised, but still. Now anyway, all the paint stuff that we've hatched, if you look at the bellies of them, they've all got these really weird checkery sort of marks all the way down their bellies. Okay, and that's happened on every single one of the paint genes we've hatched. Sorry, she's trying to go up around my neck. So yeah, so she's quite funky. So what we're going to do with her is we're going to keep hold of her, we're going to grow her on, and we're going to pop her back to her dad, because we're actually quite interested to see what pops out. Now, the reason that we're interested in what pops out is her mother, for the last 2 seasons, has thrown out genetically reduced animals. We got her quite a few years ago now, and when we got her, she was already gravid, and she had 4 eggs. She was bred to a super mojo, so obviously the whole clutch was mojos. Now, the 3 mojos looked just like normal mojos. And then the 4th mojo was, again, the smallest of the clutch. And it was so reduced in pattern, he was absolutely stunning. I made the mistake of selling him. I really shouldn't have sold him. That's one of the ones that I sort of sit here now and I go, damn, you know, we've all got one of them in our collection that we, you know, have sold and we shouldn't have really. So yeah, so this season now, the 2018 season, we have repeated the same pairing. So we've done her dad, which is the faint male, back to Satin, the funky female, because we want to see if she throws anything that looks like her again. Now, if she does, this will be 3rd time lucky. So surely on a 3rd time, you know, it's got to be something that's genetic. You know, hopefully it is something that's genetic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pop her back and I'm going to pull her mother out for you guys to have a look at her. She is a normal, but she is very, very reduced in pattern. She also has a weird little white patch on her. Again, we don't know where it came from. It's not been explained. The gentleman that had her before us, she already had that on her. So we shall pop her back and show you Mum. Okay, so this is Satin. Obviously, as you can see, she's a hell of a lot bigger. She will not sit still for love nor money. She does not like to be held. She does not like to be handled. She's one of those she would prefer to be left alone. She's a big, big, muscular, chunky snake. If I just sort of hold her back here, and sort of get the grips of the size of her. So yeah, this is Satin. As you can see, she's reduced patterned all the way down that side, and there's the white marker that we were on about. She's also genetically reduced down that side. I keep saying genetically reduced. I don't even know if she's genetic yet, but she's also reduced patterned that side. Sorry. Now she's a good girl. She's a good girl. Yes. She is a good girl. She, like I said, she threw 2 clutches of with 1 animal per clutch of reduced patterned babies. Now I don't really want to handle her too much because I've got a funny feeling she's due to ovulate soon. So I'm going to pop her back, but I'll just give you another quick look at her. So she has got a head stamp as well. I'm not sure how well you can see it on the video. I'll just kind of let her crawl over that way so she can show you her body. So you can see she's actually quite reduced in pattern. Again, there's the little white spot there. So I'm just going to pop her back and then I'll come back and talk to you a bit about her. Right, so as you all just saw, that was Satin. Now, again, we're hoping now that this season she's going to produce some kind of reduced patterned animal. Now, if she does, fingers crossed, we could potentially announce that she actually is genetic, because this would have been 3rd time lucky. Now, obviously, you know, we might have just been 3rd time lucky. We don't know. So the plan is, I'm hoping that she throws something funky that's actually male. Now if she does, the plan is to hold that back and then pay that back to her, just in case it may sort of be like a heterozygous form. You'll have to excuse my pronunciation, I can never say that word. So just in case it's like a het form, should we say, and then obviously the visual is the reduced patterned animal. Again, we don't know what we're working with here. We could have found out a couple of years ago, but we took a couple of years off breeding, mainly due down to my health. My health hasn't been great over the last couple of months. But that's fine, it is what it is. And it's also given the snakes a good chance to, just relax themselves or get fed up, get ready to breed now for the 2018 season. Yeah, so that's pretty much the history of the paint gene and how it came into our collection. I mean, we've sold various paint animals, we've sold a few faint animals. This season we've also got the faint male locked up with the calico, flora and fauna line calico female. Again, she's looking absolutely mahoosive at the moment. Actually, I tell you what, I'll show you her, but I won't pull her out. I'll actually show you her in a tub, so you'll have to excuse any mess because we're actually in the middle of cleaning as it stands. So 2 seconds, guys. Okay, so I can't see how well she's showing up on the camera, but yeah, that's hopefully mommy to be, and she is quite a big girl. I mean, if I put my hand there, you can sort of gauge the size of her. I mean, she's gorgeous. I absolutely adore this female. I mean, she is showing a little bit of a tail suck here. We've got a little bit of a build here. Nothing major. She's not, it's definitely no ovulation or anything there yet. And she actually is still on food. So, oops, sorry, I nearly dropped the phone then. So yeah, so that's the history of the paint gene. That is how the paint gene came into our collection. What breeding plans we've got for the paint gene in the 2018 season covered. So any questions that you'd like to ask us, please just pop it down in the comments below and we'll answer you as soon as we can. Thank you again very much for taking the time to watch this video today. Apologies for the ums and the stumbles. Again, I'm sort of trying to get used to this. I can be quite nervous when it comes to being on camera and things. So yeah, so thank you for taking the time to watch this. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video with your friends, and don't forget to check us out on Facebook, DNA Royal Pythons. You'll find us on there. And yeah, just have a chat with us. Let us know what your plans are for the 2018 breeding season. We love to hear off you guys too. So, take care and tatty bye for now.